Welcome to Real Talk Wrestling. My name is Josh. With me is Miami Clutch PE, and there is no heel babyface Chris Colfer tonight. I don't know what he's doing tonight. He didn't tell me, so I'm gonna assume it's sports related, and he's at the Rays game if they're even home. Not sure where he's at, but it's just us tonight. So there's gonna be no AEW talk at all whatsoever, except for maybe a little bit. Kidding. We're gonna talk about AEW a little bit at the end. So before we get into anything, Clutch. It's been a week. A lot has happened on SmackDown. I think they were in England. There was many songs sung. There was a lot of you're over there. I gotta ask
Yeah,
this real quick. I know Chance, like I've always let's go lightning, like just Chance, and then the whole stadium. I'm really into the because you can do it with everybody. Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. I'm into that stuff. Do you guys do that everywhere? Or is it just like an England thing and I'm just stupid American not knowing my countries?
it's everywhere, and they get creative, I guess, depending on the country they get to. Like when I went to the Brussels show, they had really interesting. They had the French chants. They go with the AJ Styles chant, the phenomenal. Even though he wasn't even, I think he was on screen for like 2 seconds on the backstage segment, and they went crazy. They did the whole thing. Yeah, because you'll get the Cody Rhodes thing for my singing is terrible. My bad. Um, You'll get it in like London, and then like it transferred over because I also went to Bash in Berlin last year, and they had it there too. So yeah, like chants translate all over the place, and they even had some for like Penta where they go ole 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 ole, and then they'd be like cero miedo,
It's
and then it was
awesome.
so like I like the creativity of the crowds because and living like getting to actually live in these crowds has been actually funny and like amazing experience.
Yes. Before we get into our main topics, we're going to talk about John Cena, obviously, versus Cody Rhodes and that whole burial or whatever you want to call it. We'll get our thoughts on that. We're going to talk about the triple threat contract signing. I know that was Friday night. Obviously, you can see Clutch's picture. It's a great moment on Friday night SmackDown. And we are gonna dive into not really AEW talk, but there was a 3-year anniversary that happened, as Clutch told me as of yesterday. So we'll get into the whole Cody Rhodes switching teams and the repercussions and what has happened since. But before we do any of that, Clutch, how you been? What do you want to talk about? What is the main thing on your mind for tonight's show?
I've been good, man, and ever I've been getting back on my wrestling grind, watching more frequently, I guess, because I got to skip some here and there because it's late over here, and even though the shows are have been like friendly with my times, so I've still managed to miss them, and they suck, and that sucks. But I've had some fun watching wrestling recently. NXT is doing well as usual for me, and I'm really liking like obviously like the main stories, the triple threat at WrestleMania and Cena and Punk, which we're gonna talk about. But I'm liking like how the mid card shapes up now with especially on Raw. How they have Penta, who was never I okay, I can't say because I haven't watched much AEW back then, but
Mhm.
pushed as such like a singles guy as he was as a tag team guy, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong. And I feel like he's being pushed or at least marketed and presented to an audience like a bigger star and like he matters and
Mhm.
got him on track to have a match. I don't know if it's going to be multi-man, if it's going to be one-on-one in a match with like Braun Breaker. And Friday, tomorrow, we're going to get his brother who's phenomenal in the ring. And I'm really excited like to see the mid card actually like being solid for once.
Right, having it matter. So I will back you up on the whole Penta thing. I watched AEW in the heyday. Every episode, he was an original. And yeah, he was Penta over there in AEW was not used well. I never. So we're gonna see Ray Phoenix, and I'm not gonna s all over Ray Phoenix because I think he's a phenomenal talent. I wasn't into Ray Phoenix whatsoever. my main attraction to the Lucha Bros was Penta. Always was Penta, always has Penta. I think I've said this on this show many times before you were even here. Push Penta as a mid card talent as a singles. He's got it. Ray Phoenix, sure, he can flip, he can do all the fun things, but at the end of the day, don't hate on me, guys. He's just a he's just a chubbier Timu version of Rey Mysterio. I love Ray Phoenix, but what I'm saying is I don't think he has it. We'll see how WWE markets him. We'll see. But I never saw it with Ray Phoenix. I saw it with Penta and his moves and the Made in Japan. I said on this, I think before you joined the show, we did a top 5 list every week, and we did like a top 5 signature moves, like like the Blue Thunder Bomb,
Yeah.
moves that get done that never get the job done. Penta used to do something called the Made in Japan, and I'm like, that's my favorite move. Like that made my top 5 list back then, and to see him do it in WWE and all these things he does, he's always been so much fun to watch. So I love the singles run. I love how they're not going to be a tag team. I am so looking forward to them doing their own thing and maybe cross paths later. I don't want to see him as a tag team. Not this year, probably not even next year. I want to see what they can do singles wise. I don't know how you feel about that.
I like that they separated them completely, let them do their own thing. Penta's going over so well, and I think I've mentioned it on this show before. Like the difference with Penta and all the other luchadors, I won't even talk just in comparison to Ray Phoenix, but like in comparison to Dragon Lee, in comparison to back then Sin Cara, all those things. It's the swagger, man. He just brings the swagger to it where he's just not flippy luchador guy number trying to be the next Rey Mysterio. I don't see it with Penta where like, he can be the next Rey Mysterio. No, he's just Penta. And he has his own swagger. He does his little walk when he gets to the ring, interacts with the crowd. Everybody knows and sings along to the Cero Miedo. Like, so yeah, it's very different with him, and it just comes down to the swagger for me. I'm interested to see, and I hope it's also going to work out for Ray Phoenix, where he can break out of the Rey Mysterio shadow, because that's I think that's a challenge for every luchador coming into WWE. They're always going to be under Rey Mysterio shadow, and I think that's where they went wrong. For example, with Dragon Lee, where they just put him with Rey Mysterio, and you can't break out of the shadow if you're going to be right next to him.
I mean, this is going to go into a whole discussion, and we can, but they failed with every single, I guess, top Mexican luchador or talents from. I mean, Alberto Del Rio had his moments, but at the end of the day, he couldn't really keep the momentum going, whether it be his own actions or the fans couldn't get behind him. Dragon Lee, Sin Cara. Remember that one dude? I'm here to do lucha things. Who was that guy? Who was that guy?
Kalisto, wasn't he?
Callisto, yeah. See, there you go. Look, the thing is they always bring in luchas in, and they never work because they can't connect with the fans. Where Penta, where you just said it perfectly, he has a swagger. It seems like every luchador that I've ever seen wrestle, besides the greats, you're right. They're just generic wrestlers that you could wrestle with in a video game. That's what I feel like. I don't know if I'd feel the same way back in WCW days when I was watching all that stuff, Juventud Guerrero, La Parca. Like I was into it. That's what made me watch WCW was that division, the cruiserweight division. You had a lot of luchadors. As I get older, and they got rid of the luchadors and the cruiserweight divisions, and WCW, WWF at the time, WWE. They only had Ray, and yeah, they had Chavo and they had other guys like that, but they didn't present them as luchadors. So I think us as an American fan base, it's hard for us to connect with them. And having Penta to connect with is such a breath of fresh air. I love it. So more Penta. I love this Braun Breaker thing. I didn't see that spear coming. I saw the spear coming with Braun Breaker in that tag team match. I saw the spear coming whenever it was being set up, but I didn't see them having an altercation in that match. And that's getting me more excited for Penta in that Continental Championship run he wants. No, I you know what? I hate when people make fun of that because they do. I barely know English. Like I couldn't, if you asked me to go onto a German show or any other language show, I'd be the worst. So props to Pinton. Stop making fun of him, guys. I only do it because I love him. All right. I saw him on Being the Elite before y'all knew who he was. So chill out. Cody Rhodes, speaking of being the elite, Cody Rhodes showed some aggression towards John Cena on Monday Night Raw and probably their best segment to this date. Do you agree with that?
I think by far. The segment finished and I was like out loud, I said it to like in my room. I was like, "Where was this 2 weeks ago?" And that segment was great. I mean, that's what I expected out of them, finally having an a actual back and forward. I was here last week talking about how Cena was just basically having a feud with the crowd and Cody was just there. And we were talking about that. And now they're actually talking to each other and taking jabs at each other, like nasty ones too. And
Mhm.
I'm more surprised Cody I wasn't surprised because I could see it, but like that Cody held his own against John Cena, and Cena is a killer on the mic when he
Mhm.
wants to be. And it was really good trading all the jabs, the billionaire line got me,
Yep.
and it was all good. I liked it so much.
Do you think 80% of the crowd got that jab? Or do you think they're just talking about Triple H and Stephanie?
I think they got it. I think
I don't know,
for
man.
some
CM
reason
Punk, when CM Punk references anything AEW, it falls flat every single time.
I
Every
also
time.
think it depends on the crowd though. I think European crowds are just smarter on that kind of stuff. And they were just in front of a European crowd, so it would
Yeah,
make sense. But yeah, but I think for that line, they did get it completely.
it was great. It was great. It was one of the greatest lines. So the title of the show is called John Cena buried Cody Rhodes on Monday night. I did not feel that way whatsoever. I
Mm,
thought Cody buried John Cena. I think Cody, and I don't think this is John's fault. I think, and I know people are going to say, Josh, you might say this, Josh, you find something to complain about. My wife says this all the time, and it's probably true. And I don't want it to be true, but this is not. This has been good. This has been better than expected. I'm gonna put it that way first. But this is not the heel John Cena I want to see. I feel like he's overacting and being too whiny, which I get. He's a heel. I understand. But I feel like when it was him and Roman and it was him and The Rock, I wanted that John. We are still getting that now. Like we're still getting he's got the lines, but his delivery is different. I just feel like he's more whiny and crybaby about it instead of hard and like tough about it. When he was going against The Rock, all of his lines he said, I'm like, that guy is a G. That guy is the chain gang guy. That's John Cena that we saw coming up. That's a badass John Cena. Now it's a more different hybrid crybaby whiny John Cena. It's still fine. It's fine. But I think Cody put him into the ground. Everything Cody said, in my eyes, exceeded what I thought was going to happen. I don't know if that's by design. I don't know if Triple H and the powers that be are like, hey, we know you can kill this guy. We saw you kill Roman. We saw you kill Dwayne. We see you kill everybody, John. Don't kill our main guy. Like, we need him for the next 10 years. Don't kill him. Be gentle, but still be good. I don't know if you got that vibe or not. Maybe I'm just reading into it. But I thought Cody, this is probably his best promo since coming into the WWE. I think this is my favorite one by Cody Rhodes by far in the last 3 years.
yeah,
And I think it's because for once, he did not bring his father into the story. That's big for me. And two, he showed the aggression that he had as a heel in ROH in New Japan, and he showed the fact that he can go in there and he can beat the hell out of this old man. And we didn't get those vibes the last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks were like, you beat my ass, you killed me, you busted my eardrum, but I'm not going to do anything about it. Finally, he did something about it, and I think the build up was worth it. I think they were building up to this moment for us to feel this way. I don't know how you feel about it.
yeah. Cody referenced it right away. I think he was like, "These last 2 weeks, you've been just talking to the crowd and things like that." So I don't know what the exact words were, but yeah, he came out and referenced it, and then so that makes me think, yeah, it was by design. Let the crowd think a little bit. Oh, it's
Mhm.
gonna be the same old shit. Sorry, Bobby. And then you finally get the payoff, which is that one-on-one promo battle or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, you said it. Cody held his own. He probably won the segment, I guess.
Mhm.
He had an answer for everything, and even when Cena hit his largest hit on the mic, he came out with the "You can't wrestle," and that was just perfect. I think it was chef's kiss to the end of the promo, and he stood tall, crossroads, and it also makes me think that Cena's winning.
Yeah, Cena's winning. So you don't turn Cena heel for him to lose, because then what's next?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So let me bring this up real quick. So Cody got the last laugh. The "you can't wrestle" thing was weird to me because John Cena's whole gimmick is he doesn't care what they think. He doesn't care. So why would he care that he can't wrestle? But that was a good. That was good. I want you to explain that. Why would he care? John Cena, this character, care?
Yeah, but I mean, Cody's whole point for I think there was also a part of the promo where he was telling Cena that he was lying, that he actually does care.
Mhm.
And maybe this is how
Okay.
he like tied it back around. And he's like, "You see, you do care," kind of thing.
See, that's smart. So I didn't think about that because he did say that you lied to these fans at one point. You cared. Okay, so that could make sense. Him antagonizing him, saying these fans chanted at you, "You can't wrestle." It really aided him because he does care. Okay, okay, you. I didn't realize that till just now, so that's pretty good. There was a couple lines in there which I appreciated and liked, where John was like, and he acknowledged it every time they gave me whatever. It could be bottom of the barrel. I made it great. I didn't have to leave to be great. I stayed here. And Cody has some great points too. You made it possible for me to leave and go make a name for myself because he didn't say it outright because he couldn't. He's on WWE television, but he read in between the lines. People, he said, "You were on top at probably the worst period ever in this company. The PG era, ratings were falling, attendance was going down. It wasn't Cena's fault. He was just getting." Cena said that whatever they give me, I made great. And Cody pretty much said, "You made this place sucked, and I was able to go other places and make a bigger name for myself, and then come back and take your job." Like that to me was real because it did. It sucked when he was on top for a while. When he killed everybody, when he was Super Cena, dude, that era of wrestling was beyond bad to me, at least. And I know Cody felt the same way, and probably a lot of people do. You probably don't. I don't know. But some people do. I like that line a lot. I like that they reference his other travels. What I'm trying to get at is I don't know why they hate each other yet. I don't know why they hate each other yet. As in this, John made it clear for 2 weeks in a row he hates us and he wants to take the belt and go retire. Cody came out 2 weeks in a row defending us, basically stating, You're not the real John Cena. I want to face my hero." He even called him his hero week 3 in that promo. So what is a real beef? Like, are we gonna get more, or was this it? Was this the last thing till WrestleMania? I don't know if John Cena's booked for another Raw. I don't know.
I have no idea either. Uh, that line was good though. You kind of made I forgot about that line. You just reminded me. You're my hero, but you're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
And then you had the crowd chanting, "Piece of shit." Sorry,
yeah,
buddy.
yeah. It was great. There was just so much to talk about in this promo, and it was great television. Um, I can't. We need to see more. We need a good old fashioned John Cena beats the holy hell out of Cody. We need that. I know we already saw Elimination Chamber, but I think we need it. And I don't know why this was not my rundown. It just popped in my head, and we're going to transition to it real quick because we spent 20 minutes on Cody Rhodes, which is fine. We might go back to Cody soon. The beatdown of the freaking night on Raw. Tell me you didn't enjoy that, where Gunther beat down Jimmy Uso. And this was different because usually you get the handcuffs. The man used a zip tie on Jey Uso. That added it to me a little bit because that's like, oh, that's more savage. This wasn't, I guess it was predetermined because I don't know who brought up the zip ties, but be that as it may, I love anytime a babyface is chained to a rope watching his either wife or best friend or whoever it may be get their ass beat. I love it. I thought the segment was, man, it added to this story so much. How did you feel about it?
Okay, so there were two WrestleMania matches, big time matches, both world title matches that I didn't really care about before the show. And Raw happened, and now I care about both of them because they're adding another layer to the stories. They Cena Cody got we talked about it,
Mhm.
they finally got to go at each other. Now, bringing Jimmy into the whole story was probably the best thing they could have done because Jimmy has his own thing. He's also pretty decent. He's pretty good on the mic. He's a good talent. And just Gunther just beating the living crap out of him to the point where he's bloody and and WWE doesn't use they're using blood a lot more now, but not as frequent like for example as AEW. So it's
When
still like
needed.
it's still a shock factor. Yeah. You still get the shock factor of wow, this is serious. And
Hmm.
yeah, you kind of referenced it like when the babyface gets chained to the ropes. It reminded me like when Triple H got chained to the ropes. And Randy just
Hmm.
destroyed Stephanie, kissed her, did all that. That was great stuff. So yeah, now I'm more into this match. Now it's not just sleeper, brawl, repeat, and they do it week after week. Now there's a little bit more to it. Now Jay, I expect him to come out more angry, a little bit maybe less of the yeet and more of just like I'm gonna beat your ass kind of thing. And I think it makes for like really good TV.
I texted in the chat. Nobody responded, man. Where's Sammy? Where's Sammy Uso? Where is Sammy? Is he going to be participate at WrestleMania?
It's a good point.
Where was he at? Why couldn't he help? Like, it's just stuff like that bugs me. Like, there was no explanation of why nobody. Everyone loves Jay. Nobody came out, but I get it. It's part of the story. I think Sammy is moving. I don't know. We'll talk about Sammy probably in a different show, probably our WrestleMania preview, because I think he cannot be left out of WrestleMania. And he might Kevin Owens might finally get the help he needs. I hope. I would love Sammy to turn heel with Kevin again. But we'll talk about that later. Speaking of main events and world title shots and just awesomeness, there's a triple threat match that's going to main event night one, which tells me, by the way, I think Gunther's going to retain now. I think there's no way they put that on first and we get 30 minutes of yeeting before the match and then he wins and then we get who could follow that? I feel bad for the second match if that is the case. I think Gunther has to retain now that it's not the main event. Do you agree with that?
I don't necessarily think that, but only because I keep going back to WrestleMania 35 and Kofi Mania being in the middle of the show, and it still had a moment. It was still a very feel good moment. I guess the crowd is much more interactive with Jay than they are with Kofi back then, but yeah, I don't know. I can still see Jay winning. I think it's more of a 50-50 for me.
Yeah, I can just easily see Gunther retain and just, you know, it is what it is. But I don't know. We'll see. That's the good thing about this WWE is we don't just don't know. When Kofi Mania was happening, we knew Kofi was winning the title. When Daniel Bryan was going on, we knew Daniel Bryan was going to win the title. Jey Uso's happening right now, and there's still questions in the air. But triple threat match: CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. I'm going to be completely honest with everybody watching. When Roman came out, because I watched SmackDown. I didn't watch it live because it was your time, but I went on and watched it my time, like on some streaming. I think it was on Peacock, wherever it was. I forgot where it was. Um, and when Roman came out, you had my attention just because it was Roman Reigns. When Roman comes out, you have my attention. I love him. He's a heel again. Like he didn't really change his character when he came back. He never apologized to us. He just was the same guy. But we still loved him because he's our OTC. But he's still the same character. He's a heel, but we just love him now because he's cool. I loved it. You know, he's sitting back there like this. I'm making dreams, baby. Check. You know, he's
Yeah.
just loving it. He's yapping it up. I thought it was great. Seth comes out there, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I went back to my phone and started looking at shit. I had no interest. I really didn't. And I apologize to anyone watching as a Seth fan. I love Seth. But I said, man, I'm not into this right now. All Seth wants to talk about is how he messed things up and yada, yada, yada. And then I hear cult of personality. Bro, my phone dropped sooner, faster, quicker than anything I've ever done before. And then I was all in because CM Punk brings me back in. I'm sorry, Seth. I just don't like this version of Seth. But what a freaking promo by CM Punk. I'm here to chew bubblegum and sign a contract, and I'm all out of bubblegum. How did you love? What was your favorite part about this whole moment?
All right, so really quick before I forget, before that moment, did you catch the when Drew got put through a windshield and CM Punk walked right by?
People think that's a reference to AEW. Could be, but I don't know if Triple H is going to do that. I don't know if they care enough. But yes, I did see that.
If it's not, then it's just a funny coincidence, a really funny coincidence that they had CM Punk walk by right by the windshield.
Yeah,
But
I know. I agree.
To get to the actual promo, I mean, Punk is a master on the mic, and the fact that you can still get more of seeing Punk as the underdog, even though he's done so much, because he's never main evented WrestleMania. Then you get him looking at the contract. Nothing's there, and then Paul getting involved. And when he told him, "Yes, you're main eventing WrestleMania," it felt like a real moment. Like like Paul was actually talking to Punk, and they were both getting teary eyed. And yeah, it was top to bottom great promo, and Punk dropping that
Mm-hmm.
that at that very end, just yeah, great. That's not the favor, and it leaves people with a clip. That's the word I was looking for, cliffhanger. And you don't know what the favor is. I have an idea what the favor might be, but we don't know.
So okay, I realized how I watched it. I watched it on YouTube because Bobby texted me while I was at work, and he said, "I told you this was going to be the main event of night one." And then I responded with, "That's lame." And then for two reasons. I am a purist. I think that Jey Uso, the main event, should be the Royal Rumble winner. This is 2 years in a row now with the Royal Rumble winner, not main event WrestleMania. So if you're gonna do that, that's fine. Just stop saying the winner of this Royal Rumble will main event WrestleMania. Stop saying it. Just say get a world title shot at WrestleMania. That being said, I texted Bobby then. I said, if that's the favor, I lost all interest in this entire program because that's the lamest favor of all time. You're CM Punk. You shouldn't need a favor to get into the main event. You're CM freaking Punk. So whenever Paul got on his knees, he's like, it's all in there. It's in there. You're going to main event. CM Punk kind of got teary. Paul got kind of teary. I'm going, let's go. This is not the favor. Let's freaking go because they wouldn't have burnt it already. They wouldn't have burnt it. That wouldn't have been the situation. So I'm like, okay, what is a favor? I thought we were going to get the reveal Friday. I thought we were going to get the reveal of like what the favor is. Now, Paul, this isn't the favor, but thank you. I appreciate it. I'm in the main event. That's awesome. But this is what I want. We didn't get that, which is good. At the end of the day, if the favor is Cody, not Cody, God, this goes into Cody. If CM Punk's favor is Paul, come with me, help me beat Roman, or whatever the case may be my manager or whatever, I think I'd be excited for that. What would get my question to you is what would get your, I guess, what would get you smiling? What would make you happy if the favor was what you wanted? I can't phrase that correctly. I'm sorry. What do you want the favor to be?
There would be two things in my mind as soon as you said that's not the favor. One is just simply he wants a world title match. And I don't know how Paul can give it to him, so I kind of like discard that pretty quickly. And it just makes sense to me with just hey Paul, come with me kind of thing. Because this the funny thing about this picture that I have on right now, this is not from the promo on Friday. This is from a promo back when Paul was in danger from Solo or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminded me like this storyline here is not the first time they talked about a favor. Paul was I need to ask Paul was asking Punk for a favor, and then he'd be like, "What's your favor?" And then Paul said, "Take me with you."
Mhm.
And I think if they really wanted to do that, they could tie it all back together, like they tend to do in the Triple H era. They plant little seeds and then go back to it later on. And yeah, I think it's Punk wants Paul Heyman, and that could set up for even a possible one-on-one Punk versus Roman match down the line at SummerSlam or something like that. And it can make for good storylines for the next few months if done correctly. And yeah, I'm fairly convinced that it's going to be that Punk wants Paul Heyman to walk with him instead of Roman.
Hmm. I'm okay with that if that happens, but here's where I get things messed up. Because this is where I go into fantasy booking and things I want to happen. I play WWE 2K almost every day. I have a My Universe mode, right? I know who my champions are. I pick my champions. I make sure my champions are who I want and what happens. So I fantasy book a lot. By the way, Mercedes Moné broke the record for the longest women's champion. She is now 7 years straight as the women's champion. Just want to let everyone know that. She actually, whoever made that character in the 2K did a great job of her, by the way. Anyway, I want a babyface CM Punk versus a heel John Cena at SummerSlam and reverse it. That's what I want. So if Paul Heyman goes with CM Punk is a de facto heel because that's what Paul Heyman always will be, especially if he turns on Roman. We love Roman. People love Roman. I think best case scenario, it's just at the end of the day for this triple threat match, which people aren't thinking about. What if Paul goes with Seth? Screws both of them,
That's a plot twist.
right? Would that be crazy? Wouldn't that be wild? Hey, Paul's mad. Roman, where were you when I was getting power bombed? Where were you when the bloodline was running crazy on me? The only person in CM Punk, I asked you to take me with you. You didn't. Where were you? Wouldn't that be crazy? If Seth, oh, Alex, you said that last week. I must, sorry, Alex in the chat. He was on No Holds Barred. You know what? I do remember you saying that. So there, Alex Brown did say that on No Holds Barred on Saturday night. But what if? That would be wild, and no one's talking about it. I think it'd be crazy. I think it would change everything. But then where would you go? Seth doesn't need Paul Heyman. Seth's great. Seth's great on the mic. Seth can do whatever he wants. But it would just add such a huge wrinkle to something that we never think about. And what does Triple H do? He does things that we don't think is going to happen all the time. He's the most unpredictable booker I've seen in a long time. Tony Khan's unpredictable because he doesn't know what he's doing. He has no fucking clue. Triple
Yeah.
H is calculated. So I think that'd be fun. But the favor for CM Punk, what if there is no favor? What if Paul Heyman's like, I'm a heel. Screw your favor. There is no favor. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's getting me more interested. You saw the part where Paul Heyman shook his head no. Don't acknowledge him. Don't do it, CM Punk. You see that?
Yeah. Yeah, I caught that. I saw it afterwards on like Twitter when they on replaying the segment.
Yeah.
And you notice the little things, and the little things are what end up mattering in the end in this new era.
Well, the Paul Heyman dressing like Solo Sikoa never got paid off. Was it a hint towards I'm not going to? I don't know. That was such a long time ago, but that never got paid off. Why was he dressed like Solo? That's never been mentioned once by anybody. I don't know, man. There's a lot going on back there, and I'm excited to break it down. Last topic of the night, because I know you brought this up, and it's an interesting one. Yesterday was Cody Rhodes' 3-year anniversary back in the WWE, where he debuted or re-debuted as the mystery opponent for Seth freaking Rollins. And I swear to you, if you go back and watch 3 years ago, probably to this date, I told y'all Cody's not going to be the person, man. It ain't happening. I was set in stone. I thought for sure it was not going to be Cody Rhodes. I was wrong, and it's been freaking awesome ever since. So How have you enjoyed this last 3 years with Cody, and how do you think it's turned the wrestling business upside down?
I never. It's crazy to look at their return now because obviously with the anniversary, the clip is coming back of the actual return, and just seeing the entrance and nobody doing the whoa, nobody singing along. It's just pure noise because it's how crazy the moment was, and it really made me think, like, back then, the the quote unquote forbidden door was just a one-way door, and it was just everybody going to AEW, and nobody would go to WWE. And the first person to go the other way, being one of the founders of AEW, is insane to think about. And it happened, and when it happened, I expected it to be amazing, awesome, whatever. Also, I didn't think it was gonna be Cody for a while, and that it was just a bunch of, I guess, rumors. And then it happened. And then I was like, okay, this is gonna be great, but I never expected him to be the guy, like the face of the company coming back. I expect him to be great, do his thing, but never to be the guy. And it just opened the door, the forbidden door for everybody else to walk across, I guess. Now you see guys in WWE that you never think you see. We talked about Penta. We're talking
Jade,
about, huh?
Jade
Jay.
Cargill,
And we're talking in, if you just go see NXT, you have Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints, Ethan Page.
Lexus
Uh,
King, who by the way, Lexus King is my Intercontinental Champion. Big
nice.
fan of his moveset in that game. He's freaking awesome. Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing, Clutch. Is it only took one person, and not only just one person, one influential person that helped build AEW, who helped get Ricky Starks in there, who helped get Ethan Page in there, who helped get Jay Carg. Remember Jay Cargill's first ever promo, his first ever wrestling appearance, period, was in the worst promo of all time against Cody Rhodes. All these people that he influenced that brought in to AEW, he's probably like, hey guys, come over here now. It's different. You can actually do what you want over here. Now we're seeing Ray Phoenix. Now we're getting Malachi Black probably coming, or Aleister Black coming back. It only took
Rusev
one
just signed
person.
today, apparently.
Didn't see that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I caught it that he has officially signed with WWE,
That's
so
great.
he's coming
So,
back.
and it was just an avalanche. And I mean, let's be beyond Cody Rhodes. I'm gonna take this for like 5 seconds and say this real quick. Tony Khan, thank you. What you did to invest into a wrestling company and to get these people on TV in your incompetence made WWE good again. You had Cody Rhodes, the biggest star, and while he was doing the John Cena promo and they were cheering him, oh, Cody Rhodes. I texted Bobby this. This is what he's always wanted, dating back to AEW. He told us in his last promo in AEW, you know why I won't turn heel? Because I love you guys and yada, yada, yada. And that was him. He'll never turn heel. Cody will never turn heel because all he ever wanted was to be accepted. And now he is. He said it in his promo. I was booed in the company I helped create. He
Yep.
said that. And it's true because he sucked. He sucked in AEW. He was not this version. WWE unlocked, evolved, improved Cody Rhodes to where he is now. And the man you're seeing, the picture you have there, he would never, ever, he would have never returned to the WWE, ever, if it wasn't for Tony Khan in AEW and him going there first. I don't think he'd ever return. I think he went to AEW because he thought he saw a chance of a new generation because Vince was still in WWE. Then he's like, oh, wait, this is awesome. I love pro wrestling. Now he's back in WWE. That's all because of Tony Khan. So all the terrible things he's done, he left his mark on this business and he made wrestling great again. I'm not giving all the seriously. I'm not talking crazy. Like, do you think CM Punk would be back in wrestling today if it wasn't for AEW?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think Cody Rhodes would be in WWE again if it wasn't for AEW?
Nope.
No, none of these guys would. So having bottom line is this: all the trolls out there, me included, everyone. When you watch, there's a. I don't go on Twitter anymore, but there was a handle called "The Death of AEW." You wanting another a pro wrestling company to die because of your stupid fandom to one company is stupid. These other people out there that are making a living, that are having fun wrestling, guess what? When you see MJF jump over in a couple of years and all these other guys, you're going to be thankful that there was an AEW. We should want both companies to strive. We should want both to be great. And this is just a perfect conversation to have of what can happen when we do have crossover. It's fun. Remember how fun it was when Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson and William Regal all debuted on the same show in AEW? That brought eyes to that show. That was
It even
exciting.
got me
That was fun.
watching for a few weeks.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was fun. When Cody comes over and Free Phoenix and that's fun. We should love this. This is what the 90s were. And there's freaking Twitter accounts. Well, we want these people. The death of AEW, the death of WWE. Guys, get a fucking life. Sorry, Bobby. It's fucking great all over the place. Just watch this, enjoy wrestling. Back to Cody, though. When he did come out against Seth Rollins, I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit upset. You probably knew that already. I felt like he was a traitor. I felt like he stabbed me in the back. I really did. I felt that way about Cody Rhodes. But, man, I think it was the best thing for pro wrestling. I think pro wrestling has never been better. It's because of both companies existing. I don't know how you feel about that.
I've said this before, and I probably will never say it again, but I think bringing Cody Rhodes back to WWE and Cody just coming back to WWE was the last great thing that Redacted ever did. I don't know if you caught that one.
I caught it.
Okay. I think it was the last, I guess, great business move for the WWE that happened. Mm-hmm. And it was probably the best because the moment Cody rose out that stage, everything changed in wrestling, in the entire landscape of wrestling. And it took a while. It obviously took Triple H also coming in charge to make it fully bloom, but something started at that moment. And if you want to see where because AEW started getting a lot of momentum before that. And if you go back and try to like single out the turning point back to the WWE side of momentum, I guess, it would be the moment Cody came out that stage. And it's really one of the most important moments, I think, in wrestling history.
Well said, because it is. It really is. When we go back and 20 years from now, and we talk about this era, that will be, there are many things, right? Vince getting busted, Triple H taking over, WWE being sold. Let's be honest. WWE being sold probably is the best thing that ever happened to them, because now they seem like an event. They seem like an attraction. They seem like everything matters. There's celebrities there. They're on net. John Cena said it best, man. Or who said it? Roman Reigns, which was funny. He said this on USA Network. I got us to Netflix. There'd be no Netflix interest if it wasn't me. Talking to Seth, right? Because Seth's like, oh, we've been carrying this company. Roman's like, I've been doing all this. I got us to Netflix. I did this. I was like, really? Well, it's TKO Endeavor. But be that as it may, it's true. Like, Roman's a big part of it too. The tribal chief gimmick, the bloodline gimmick, the whole storyline, that's up there with one of the best of all time. Up there with Austin, Vince. So that's a lot to do with the turnaround as well. Don't I'm sure you don't, but don't skip out on them. They're talented in what they did. It's just right place, right time, right people, and I guess right audience, because we were ready for it. I mean, wrestling fans like our age, or I know you're a little bit younger than me, but wanted this. We wanted to see someone get bloody mess while somebody was zip tied to a rope. We wanted this for so long. We're finally getting it, and it's so much fun to watch. It's no longer a task to watch pro wrestling. No longer a hassle. It's something I truly look forward to every single Monday night and sometimes Friday. You can cut an hour out of SmackDown, please. And cut Charlotte out, please. Dude, We're not going to get into it because we've been going too long. I know you want to go to bed. Charlotte's been a 1000% flop, right? This return's been the worst of all time.
Yeah, okay. I don't know of all time, but it's been pretty bad.
Mercedes is getting a lot of heat, and she always has, but at least she can show up and wrestle and do some decent things. Charlotte's done nothing. She's done nothing, and she's not getting the heat for it. Just want to get that out, Bobby, because I know you're watching. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up here. Is there anything else you want to bring up before we get on out of here and get to bed?
No, we covered a lot. Also, yeah, I just remembered. I remember everybody saying the triple threat in this main event with night one does not make sense, and that always pissed me off. And I finally get to talk about it for at least 1 minute
Let's
because
go.
they said it does not make sense. Why Punk? Why not have Roman and Seth? There's a history, or Roman and Punk. Why a triple threat? Why not one on one? It makes sense. Punk said it in the beginning. He said, "I brought you both into this company." That's the story right there. That's how you tie everything together. And I don't see how people can be so short sighted and be like, no, it doesn't make sense. Why would you just have a triple threat? It makes perfect total sense. That's my rant.
All right. I did say what's going on, Justin? Sorry, you just missed a great conversation about Cody Rhodes, Justin. But yeah, it was a great conversation. But I want to say this before we do get out of here because I no holds barred said this, and you could take it how you want to take it, Clutch. I don't regret it. If this match is truly for nothing, if the triple threat is truly for nothing, and there's no real story, and they're just going to come out there and point at the sign, and this is before this is pre SmackDown. I said this because I think it was 2 weeks ago. This is nothing but Tony Khan AEW booking. Cool. Just put 3 guys together. Who cares? That's how I felt up until SmackDown. I was one of those people, Clutch.
Mhm.
Now I feel something. Now that you got me interested. But before then, I was like, this is just AEW booking. Just put 3 stars together, triple threat match for nothing. Why not? That's how I felt going into Friday night. So, where's El Gringo Americano? He didn't tell me. He called out sick. He's not here tonight. Or maybe he's preparing for his big match on Monday night. I heard he had a big match Monday in Minnesota. So
Yeah.
too bad Chad's not going to be there. His hometown, Chad Gable's hometown. He's not going to be there. But at least we'll get What's up? I didn't hear you.
He's sick. Remember, he has a sick note.
Yeah, right. He's got a sick note. So at least we got El Grande Americano. So we'll be back next week. I think it's 2 more weeks to WrestleMania. It's the 3rd
we're almost
right now. It's crazy to think that we would have already been there in previous years. It really is. But we still have 1, 2, 3 Saturdays away, and then we're at WrestleMania. So, guys, we have a lot to talk about. We'll be talking about Raw, SmackDown, maybe some NXT if things go on over there. Never talk AEW because there's nothing going on. But other than that, we're going to get on out of here. And Clutch, thank you so much for joining me. Do you have anything to say before we get out?
No, man. All good. I think we covered a lot today.
We sure did. So peace out, guys. Later.